Hi, my name is JAPHIA McRae. Um, I'm an eighth grader going on to ninth grade. I went to Oppie Middle School. Now I'm going to Garfield High School. Um, I will be talking about a person named Cujo Lewis. Hurston's books tell us the story of Lewis, who was born Oluo Kosala in what is now the West African country of Benin, a member of the Yoruba people. He was only 19 years old when members of the neighboring Dahomian tribe invaded his village, captured him along with others, and marched them to the coast. There, he and about 120 others were sold into slavery and crammed into the Clotilda, the last slave ship to reach the continental United States. The Clotilda brought its captives to Alabama in 1860, just a year before the outbreak of the Civil War. Even though slavery was legal at the time in the US, the international slave trade was not, and hadn't been for over 50 years. Along with many European nations, the US had outlawed the practice in 1807, but Lewis's journey is an example of how slave traders went around the law to continue to bring over human cargo. To avoid detection, Lewis' captors snuck him and the other survivors into Alabama at night and made them hide in a swamp for several days to hide the evidence of their crime. The 86-foot sailboat was then set ablaze on the banks of the mobile Tinsaw Delta. Its remains may have been uncovered in January 2018. Most poignantly, Lewis's narrative provides a first-hand account of the disorienting trauma of slavery. After being abducted from his home, Lewis was forced into a ship with strangers. The abductees spent several months together during the treacherous passage to the United States, but were then separated in Alabama to go to different owners. A marker to commemorate Cujo Lewis, considered to be the last surviving victim of Atlantic slave trade between Africa and the United States in Mobile, Alabama. We were very sorry to be parted from one another, Lewis told Hurston. We, 70 days across the water from the Africa soil, and now they part us from one another before we cry. Therefore, our grief so heavy, it looks like we can't stand it. I think maybe I die in sleep when I dream about my mama. Lewis also describes what it was like to arrive on a plantation where no one spoke his language and could explain to him where he was or what was going on. We don't know why we were brought here, way back from our country to work like this, he told Hurston. Everybody looks at us strange. We want to talk with the other colored folks, but they don't know what we say. As for the Civil War, Lewis said he wasn't aware of it when it first started. But partway through, he began to hear that the North had started a war to free enslaved people like him. A few days later, after Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered in April 1865, Lewis says that a group of Union soldiers stopped by a boat on which he and other enslaved people were working and told them they were free. Lewis expected to receive compensation for being kidnapped and forced into slavery, and was angry to discover that emancipation didn't come with promise of 40 acres and a mule or any kind of reparations. Frustrated by the refusal of the government to provide him with land to live on after stealing him away from his homeland, he and a group of 31 other free people saved up money to buy land near Mobile, which they called Africa. Hurston's use of vernacular dialogue in both her novels and anthropological interviews was often controversial, as some Black American thinkers at the time argued that this played to Black cultures in the minds of white people. Hurston disagreed and refused to change Lewis' dialect, which was one of the reasons a publisher turned her manuscript down back in the 1930s. Many decades later, her principled stance means that modern readers get to hear Lewis's story the way he told it. Thank you.